peeps, my name's John, welcome to my channel. Today we have the WO Toys 124017. And I thought it's about time that we had a look at the differentials and see whether we need grease. Do you believe that WO Toys have put enough grease in, ladies and gents? I know what I think definitely not, but I thought best way is just to have a look ourselves. This is going to be a step-by-step video, so those that have never done it before, you can follow this video along, hence why I've got the smaller camera here. I'm hoping to get some close-up shots. The only issue with this camera is it may not be able to get in so close macro-wise, in which case I'll just use my normal technique. Okay, let's get on. Right then, shell off. And let's turn it this way. I don't know why I started that way, that just does not work for me. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way at the back here, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws that need to come off. Won't be using that if it's going to make that noise the whole time. Be aware sometimes this one here gets stuck, and that's because the one on the lower section, where are we? The lower section, one of these two could be turning as well, so then you just put a second screwdriver in. But for me right now, it's working fine. Of course, these ones here, they tend to glue like crazy for some reason. Sorry about that. As you can see, this whole section comes off now. The reason why we have to take this off is because down here there are 2 screws that need to come off, and here as well. So we'll concentrate on the front differential first. So, man, it's been a while since I've taken one of these off. Just hoping to, just by moving the steering a little bit, if I could get into these 2 here, which I can. Okay, so let me show you in detail. I'm not going to end up using this small camera because a bit fiddly, I think. 1 screw there, 2, then you have 3rd one there, 4 there, and then, as I said before, the 2 underneath here need to come off. Oh, fabulous. Oh, it's definitely going to be one of those days today, isn't it? You shouldn't have to take these all the way out. You can actually just leave them slightly sticking in, which just helps control where they go to. I've just got this one from one of the kits. I think the original WL Toys comes with a plastic one, but for those that have bought one of these, under my recommendation, may I add, this isn't so much a failure of it itself, it's a failure of my usage of it, because I was using it connected to my electric drill the other day, and I kind of got into a bit of a messy situation, and I ended up pretty much wrecking it. So I've hammered it in, and as you can see, it's obviously not worked. The suspension comes off so that you can get enough room to lift the whole of the top off. I know that there are some people that leave it all connected, but for me, I prefer taking it off. There we go. Take it off, put it back through, and put it all back together. There we go. Right. Now my most used tools. You need to get this tie rod off to the ball joint, so just grab it tightly and twist it like so. And as you can see, that frees all of that up. Same this end. Done. Finished. Right. Last two down here. I don't know if I have to take off that steering arm. I think I do, but we'll see. Okay, always the last one. Then lift it off and out the way. So that's the whole cover that comes off now. Take note of where the larger gear is. On the WL Toys, or most of their models, the the right hand side is facing away, the left hand side is facing towards you. Yeah, I mean the usual WL Toys, as you can see, they put grease here, but very little of it gets to there, because obviously as it's spinning it just fires up onto the top and bottom of the casing, but not actually on the gear itself, which seems a little bit silly. But, well. Just going to quickly grab one of the 144001 differentials. Just want to make sure that they're the same. Yep, identical. Okay, now to get into here, don't be scared about this, you just need to work systematically. The 4 screws need to come off. There we go. And then open it up. And what have we got? Never learned the WL Toys. That's not enough grease at all. Right, okay. I don't know why I'm surprised. I guess I was just hoping for a little bit more. This isn't a new problem with WL Toys. This has been going on since I've been back into the hobby, and I believe it's just so that they can sell more differentials, but how many customers have they lost because the customers give up? That's what amazes me. Okay, now to take these out, you just grab top one and the bottom one. Try to clean as much of this out. It's not 100% necessary because there's not really that much grease in there to clean out, but it's just not enough, is it? Come on, look at that black colour where everything's been grinding itself together. Okay. Okay, be aware On the edge of these here, there could be a washer. They call it a shim, okay? I believe there are some on these. Yes. Are there? Yes, there are. So just keep that in mind. You should have 4 cone gears, 2 pins, and 4 shims. There we go. Right. When you put this back together, you have to be aware that both of these pins have got gashes in them, and they have to sit on top of each other like so, and not like so. If you do it that way, the differential simply will not work anymore. I will be using my super duper white lithium grease from Lucas. Doesn't matter which manufacturer you buy it from, but please be aware that it needs to be white lithium grease. Squidge in the bottom. Again, there's been lots of discussion about how much grease to put in. If you look over the forums like what I did, I spent a lot of time on forums and watching YouTube videos. It completely depends on who you see and whose opinion it is. There's some people that say 25%, some people say 10%, some people say fill it up to the max. There is, in my opinion, no right or wrong answer. WO Toys, 0, that's not correct. But I stick with 75%, and I can say that because all of my cars that I put white lithium grease into are running perfectly well and have had no wear, which is pretty impressive, isn't it? Right, now, take one of your pins, put your cone gear back on and the washer, shim, and then do the other side like so. And then you need to make sure that the lower one is facing upwards. As you can see, it's facing upwards. Now on here, you've got the 4 screw holes, and it's the, well actually let me put it in and then I can show you where they are. You've got the 4 screw holes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and these sit sort of pretty much in the middle, or exactly in the middle. Do not push it all the way down straight away, because you need to see that they are in the right position before you do so, or else if you can't see, you need to take it all out and start again. Nobody wants that, trust me. It gets messy. And this one needs to be facing downwards. Like so. Oops. Now, can you see how they're sitting on top of each other perfectly fine? Push them into position, and because they're sitting on each other, you can now push it down. Look at that. Look at that. Lovely. Do not be tempted to turn it now. You will knock them out of position and could potentially cause the crosses to jump, which you don't want. Take a note of where the holes are. Is this magnetic, do you think? No. I've used my hammer to put it back together. I use it so much I can't do without it. Be aware when putting these in, tighten them up in a 1, 2, 3, 4 fashion to spread the load evenly. This is something that I didn't do when I first started, but I kept on getting told off for it. So if everybody's telling me off, then that must be a known fact. Why is that magnetic? My apologies, sometimes in the morning my hands are very shaky because of the medication, so that's why I'm a bit today. Can't blame it on the coffee, I've not had enough of it. Maybe I should have some more coffee to counteract it. Sorry for you guys, you can fast forward through it all. Not too tight. Ready? This is me talking and as the grease sort of moves around, it'll get even smoother and quieter. Love that, ladies and gents. Okay, let's bring the car back in. Right, one thing that you have to be aware of, for those that haven't done this before, there are two bearings. They have to be seated exactly where they were before, or you won't be able to put the case back on, so keep that in mind, okay? I'm taking one of these off now just to make it easier to show you guys. One screw comes off, and underneath is a small bushing. This usually falls out, and it will at the most inopportune time, as you see there, but I know it's going to fall out. I just wait for it to fall out. So now you can see the location of the bearings where they need to go. Okay. Now I'm going to be putting some grease in there. Lots and lots and lots of grease. Remember, this large gear goes away from me on the right hand side. Remember, this part here isn't so important, it's the gears themselves that have to have the grease on. Excellente! Right, this back on, push it down, tighten it up. Nice, excellent. Okay, now, make sure that you put I was just making sure everything was in focus. The drive shaft, or dog bone, not dog bone, CBD, whatever. Needs to go back into position. There, as you see. Come on, there we go. See how that's now back into position. Once that's in position, you can just pop this tie rod back on, which will hold all of that in position, like so. And then do the same on this side, maybe a little bit more successful. Oh, if it isn't going on, or like me, you're incredibly weak, get a couple of pliers and just pop it on, like so. Okay, now just make sure that your steering's in position, and then put this back on. Both sides go on, there's two pins here, or two holes should I say. Oops. 1, 2, make sure it goes on the outer one. Both of them are on the outer one. Do not tighten these up too much, it will stop your steering turning. So tighten it up to what you think, and then go back half a turn. Excellent. Right, suspension back on. That's it. That's the front done. Let's do the rear. We have all the way down there. 1, 2, 3, 4. There, and then all the way at the back. Get in there. There you go. 5. I'm going to make everybody sick. 5 and there we go. 6. That was a lot harder than it needed to be, wasn't it? Just wanted to show you the screws in case they do come out. They're the ones that go back there. Before you take out the last screw, take off your suspension or it's just going to go boing. Actually, no, let's do that. Let's take it off and see whether there's enough room to get the differential out. There is, but we still have to take the tie rods off. Again, same principle. That one off. This one actually comes all the way out, so just put that to one side. And as you can see, my tie rod just popped off both sides, so I'm just going to put it back there. And yeah, I mean, you can get it out, but for me, being recording, obviously it's easier to take the suspension off. But as you've seen that end already, I can do it like that, can't I? So, same principle, lots of grease in the centre, well lots, and some grease in the centre there, but none is actually getting to the gear itself, which seems a little bit silly. Four screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. Clearly not enough. Clearly not enough. Okay, as you've already seen me do the other end, and they're absolutely identical, I'm just going to fast forward through all of this, and I'll stop when I get to put it back into the car. See you in a minute. Okay. Nicey nice. Bring the car back in. And again, right hand side goes away from you. Just going to put some lithium grease in there. Oops. Beautiful. Right. Because the suspension is on, it's going to take a little bit more pressure to put that down. And then six screws tightened up. Well, I've got you here. You notice how this pin here is actually being replaced by a bolt and a nut to hold the swing arm in position. That's a really nice change. I do like that. So well done WO Toys for doing that at least. Okay, now drive shafts back in. Dog bones, whatever you want to call them, and click on. And then same the other side. Nice. Excellent. You can go back up out of the way. Gorgeous. Right, we're just going to turn it back around to what we had it originally. Just make sure that nothing's touching the drive shaft when you put everything down, and make sure that this cover and this block is still there. So nice. I'll start at the front and I'll show you the screws on the way. I should have shown them taken out, but I forgot. That's the small ones that go on the front. These two are the ones that go on the suspension column, the steering columns. Again, not too tight. And these are the two that go there and there. Oh, that's not an easy angle. And then last but not least, two tiny ones right at the rear here. That's it, ladies and gents. You have now successfully greased your differentials on your 124017. I don't know if that's got any power, so bear with me. Where's the on-off switch disappeared to? There it is. Don't run it at full speed straight away, because obviously everything has to bed in a little bit. Sounds smooth, right? Love it, love it, love it, love it. So there you go. It's as simple as that. I hope you found this video useful. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you next time. Take care, stay safe. Bye bye.